So normally, I would be quite cruel right now and ask Navali to do a recap of something that happened over a month ago. Can I get your reaction to that, Navali?
Gasp.
Is that a no? You won't do it.
No, I could do it.
Well, you're not going to, because I
Aw.
feel like that's too cruel. Last session, we did quite a lot. You have successfully finished the fight against a terrible being that you assumed was the creature controlling the idola that you found afterwards. Six touched it, had many dream sequences of remembering being part of the events that led to its demise and its creation. And the entire area seemed more vivid to her. But also, there seemed to be air that looked like shattered glass to another world. Fearing that it would expand from everything that you've known, you first told everyone around the area to leave, and then teleported away yourself. Returning back to the area around Delveran and walking back for the rest of your journey, you had a few more talks and figuring out that, to quote one of you, you need a break. So you began plans and started making invitations to all of your friends for what I will simply dub a beach episode. Did I miss anything important?
Beach episode.
We made a contract with some fae.
You did do that. You made a contract with some fae that run your winery. Navali, you also spoke to the priestess of Helm and learned a little bit more about something about the Iron Angel. You have a spa token if you would like to talk to your, let's call her patron.
And there's a gala coming up in a month and a half that we have to go to, something like that.
That is true. I don't have an invitation for your entire party, though.
I have a important gameplay question.
Of course, Karuto.
For this special unique episode, do we also have a unique intro video with cutaway scenes?
Navali, that's up to you.
We're all running excitedly to the beach.
Do we run across a field to get there?
Yes, we do. 100%.
Are you slowly stripping away your armor to reveal beach clothing?
While a catchy pop song is playing in the background.
Okay.
Beautiful. I'm satisfied.
For the sake of some simplicity and some brevity, you had some days off, you gathered your things, you gathered some people, and all of you are meeting, let's say, in a place that is easy for all of you to go to, either an inn if you wish to have some cohorts there, or the Tandem Imperium if you don't, and are discussing what to do next.
I believe Rosaline had procured us some rooms at something called the Rainy Prince Inn.
She did. I will remind you that the only people who are not staying there is Permilia and Navali.
Yes.
They could meet you there. There's no issues with that. This means Rose would probably overhear this conversation. But I throw the ball to the players. For some brevity and simplicity, you are meeting up and discussing what to do next. What would you like to do, and where are you?
What day is this in relation to the beach reservation?
I'm going to say it is between 1 and 3 days away. That is up to you guys for how long.
If I remember correctly, I thought we said we wanted to speak with Rasahari the day before the beach.
Sure. So this can just be the day before if you want.
Yeah, it could be that morning, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. I do not remember in character if we talked about who was going to go to the spa.
You have not. That is why I'm doing this scene.
I I remember messaging Rosalind's man and him getting really upset. But I think for the purposes of simplicity, maybe we meet up at the Tandem Imperium because we don't have this conversation about our quote unquote secret patron in front of people who don't know about her already. Is my thinking.
Crow and Varia would be off to the sides, and they could be listening, but they don't care, and they already know.
Tandem Imperium sounds good. Although I'm not. I was just talking about her not talking with her, yeah, because the talking with her is at the spa. Karito confidently asserts that you would not be able to keep him away from the spa because after so long on the road, he needs a good long soak.
I could join if I am needed. Oh, sorry. I can join if I am needed.
I think you should come.
Then I will be there.
It's likely that Rosalind might get emotional. You're good at talking to people.
All right. Sounds good.
I'm offering this as a option. I could come too, but I do have a spell that I haven't used very much that could catch her up more quickly. Unless we want, like I can give her sort of the high level notes before we get into the details. Referring to the exposition spell that I can functionally give somebody a 10-minute speech in 6 seconds.
That's actually a spell?
It is for me.
Homebrew, yes.
Oh, okay. The plot exposition spell. Very useful.
Maybe I'll just cover just sort of our general travels and then leave the finer, more important points to you.
Leave out the Eidolon.
Leave a notes.
I just given, I guess, what we're going to be talking about, I don't know. Maybe this is not the right way to look at this. I appreciate the sentiment, Leo, but maybe this is something that shouldn't be expedited at all. I mean, I don't know.
That's why I only meant the sort of the unimportant bits. Like we went to the desert and we fought a bunch of stuff, like kind of the catch up, not the valuable pieces, not the pieces she cares about. Well, I'd like to come whether I do that or not. Just I haven't seen her in some time, so.
I need to talk about my intent with you. She's looking at Lyran.
Privately or?
No. I'm not going and talking to her about the Eidolon because I want something from her. I'm doing it only because I think it's the right thing to do. And that is the attitude that, at least for the matters of the Eidolon, I would ask the entire group to go in with. Is that fair?
Rev will nod.
I nod from Karito.
Yeah, leave a notes.
Okay, that's all I needed to say.
Then it seems we are all headed to the spa then.
With it seems that you're all headed to the spa, I'll ask, is that actually the intention? Does anyone not want to go? I'll take that silence as you gather your things, you grab your token, and prepare to head for the spa unless someone wants to stop me here.
Nope.
I think at some point in the back of the line, Leo catches Karuto and is like, so I'm assuming this goes without saying that the spa was not a trap then. It's
Oh, character says, realizing that Leon has not actually been with them for again, like just missing parts of their sort of revelations. No, it is a safe space. The entire place is warded against eavesdropping of any kind. We have been using it to communicate with Rasahari securely. And of course, relax.
so okay. So it's still a spa then.
So, if I may ask for an insight check when Karuto says relax.
Sure.
There is still very much a tension in the air that is not becoming of going to a spa.
Hey now.
Especially from people who aren't Karuto.
I think character said about a 50% success rate. We came
Correct.
twice and one
Molly
time
has a
bad, the other
0.
time was good. Yeah.
Oh wait, I have a what?
Success rate.
Oh
In the
yeah,
spa.
true.
Well, I suppose I'll have to see for myself.
Character gives him a reassuring smile.
You're brought in. For the most of you, this place is familiar. A very floral, watery smell washes over your eyes. And unlike the first few times where you get are you sure you're supposed to be in here look, at this point, you've been here 3, 4 times. There's a look, a nod of recognition as they seem to look to see if you have a coin on you, and I assume it is presented to them.
Mhm.
If I may ask, is there any particular things for the day that you would require? We are slightly more busy and intend to have you not stay the entire day, if that is all right. So we'd like to simply get everything prepared in the forefront today.
We have spent many, many days on the road. I feel like we would benefit from attention to legs and feet, if that makes sense.
Of course, I'll make sure the suits understand that you are coming. I shall assume it's for all of you. Those who don't have feet.
I assume, and I don't presume to speak for Celasta, but she would appreciate a massage of the area nonetheless, he says, turning with a raised brow.
He nods and smiles.
Very well. I assume you'd like to do that before you reach the hot water inside.
That would probably be best, yes.
You've been here before. You know where the changing rooms are. Most of you do. If you require aid, this half-elven woman clearly is looking at you, Leah. Please, by any means, there are bells in every room. Ring one, and a servant will come and give you anything that you require for the day.
Leo looks concerned, but shakes it off and says, "Just okay. Just curious. Why are things so busy? Is there an event?"
There is 2 other meetings that are supposed to happen this week, and we never want them to overlap.
Um, Leo was just curious. He has nothing to do with this information, but he just sort of nods and says, "Well, I hope we will not be too much trouble for you all then."
I know you won't. The group has created some interesting experiences that we talk about, but you've caused no issues.
Six sort of casts a glance at Navali with an audible laugh.
For the sake of the fact I don't want to go through extreme descriptions of massages today, everyone roll me a con save.
Con save.
Two people may... Navali, select two people. They're the ones closest to you.
Perm and 6?
Perm is not with you.
Oh, Perm is not with us.
You did not invite her.
Oh, okay. 6 and Rev.
I actually think Leo would turn down the massage. He's not really a touchy person.
Makes
Unless
sense.
somebody peer pressured him.
Con save. Yes.
This is a little bit hilarious. Leo, you're guided instead to a very nice, warm room. The tiles feel almost warm to the touch as you see a large body of water and a fruit platter and what is definitely alcoholic drinks and water placed off to the side that you are able to get at any time. Your eyes wander and notice numerous arcane glyphs all across the room, while you can hear clear sounds of groaning in the other room. That is until you close the door and then you hear nothing. It's disquieting for a moment, but for the rest of the party, with the exception of Celostra, who still feels as if now slithering is difficult and slightly painful, relaxed. You feel as if all the knots have been removed, and you feel almost like mush. You can move at will. Anytime you try and move your arms, it feels light, as if you're no longer carrying all this weight of the desert behind you. As you all join Leo in the room of that is clearly just hot water and drinks and food, I'm going to assume, as every other time you've been to the spa, most of you are naked. Enjoy the pool.
Yes, this time I want to try to bring the gun, visibly disarming it if necessary.
No one stops you, though you get a lot of weird looks.
Excellent.
Leo probably had a moment backstage being like, "So, like, do you guys have swim trunks?" And then he realizes that this is a naked place and he's like, "Oh,
If you prefer, you may simply wear the robe and dip your feet into the water.
All I can think of now is scrubs and the shower shorts.
But for Leo's sake, the rest of the party does not hesitate to disrobe. They've done this numerous times.
yeah." I think Leo probably just has his feet in the pool, not knowing what the deal is, because you guys probably got undressed when he just went straight, and then the door swings open and you guys are naked, and he's like, and he's wearing a robe, obviously. He's like, probably shies his eyes away for a little bit and says, "Everything okay in there?"
Yes, the water is very nice.
Okay.
If everybody gets at the pool, Leo will too. He'll take off the robe. You're just initially shy.
The character has no hesitation. He just slips right into the hot waters and groans with relief.
Ooh, this might be the first time you've seen it. Liarin, there is a big, nasty, it looks like a burn scar across Six's
I think Six showed it to him.
Oh,
Six
yeah,
did directly show.
Yeah, she did.
But
Never mind. You're
there's probably definitely a moment where it's like you see that Leo notices it again.
Over the next hour, you may continue to talk amongst each other, gather little fruits from the side, drink some of the very sweet alcohol. Tastes more like fruit juice, which is considerably more dangerous, as I'm sure some of you are aware.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask if you do anything in particular during that wait, or if I shall simply fast forward a moment. About an hour goes by. The door opens, and all of you recognize the very tanned woman with wavy, blondish, dirty blondish hair walk in, kind of glance at all of you, lean off to the wall. You have been gone a very long time. May I ask why?
Leo's looking to Rev to see if he should do anything. Or if he shouldn't.
Rev's kind of glancing at Six, but I mean, he'll speak if she doesn't look like she's ready to.
She's looking at Rev, clearly indicating that or rather her posture might indicate that she wants Rev to take the lead.
Okay. Rev will clear his throat and say, yes, we've been away for some time. We had some business to take care of in a couple of different places, and we only just got back.
If I may ask, is there a reason you didn't give a much more advanced warning about adding another noble from the Iridia to your group? Or possibly deciding to kick a few hornets' nests on the way? Did you simply assume it would be dealt with?
I apologize. Could you repeat the question?
No, it's fine. It's simply some headaches from Iridia over the past month. It should be completely inconsequential in the long run. But I needed you to understand that your decisions have consequences. But I don't necessarily disagree with them. I merely wanted the answer to why.
Six looks to Rev like she wants to speak.
Rev will nod to Six.
She needed help.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Just for extra, I'm going to use my commanding presence to add a superiority die.
Sure.
She needed help.
24.
That seems to be what you are good at. Very well. Well, shall I get to business then? Navali, do you still wish for that orphanage?
Yes, I do.
One of your compatriots has been trying to aid in any way he can, though admittedly he requires access to the Pearl District for the papers that he's going to need. But I've learned other information. There is a chance that Marigold will no longer be allowed to own property soon, so long as other things go well, and I can transfer it to your guild. Would you personally like it, or is that acceptable?
Navali would look to Rev at that.
That's up to you. It is fine if it's in the name of the guild, if I'm understanding this correctly, or if Navali, if that's up to you.
Well, if it's not a problem, I guess I would prefer if it was in the name of our guild. That way. Well, I feel it might be better that way.
If I may interject, I just want to ask, are you suggesting that you would offer support to the orphanage, or that we would be wholly responsible for everything that happens there?
It would be on you. She requests the orphanage, not that I take care of it. Regardless, if that is acceptable to you, I do require a favor, and I believe that it should be one that aids you in this regard. I'm certain you got in tickets to a certain party in about a month.
I believe so, yes.
To make a very long story short, my actions, or my father's actions, it's hard to tell which, have started to cause stirrings, and we were required to do some public-facing events in order to showcase that we still care about everyone who has money and power, or else they'll attempt to oust my father. She says that with obvious, she doesn't mean the dragon. So I require bodyguards who would not necessarily look like bodyguards and cause their own stories to be told. In the meantime, there is certain things I require investigated while their eyes are on people in the party. Therefore, I would ask that all of you are around during that time, and I will give you your tasks closer to the event.
He has
Right.
a generally uneasy look on his face, but he's trying to it may be clear to anybody who's looking at Leo that he's putting on his face, but he's not going to interrupt.
And I suppose I do need to be clear with this party as you tend to disappear. That is what's going to be required for me to transfer the orphanage to you. Do you have any questions?
So you want us to attend this party, and then the orphanage will be in the name of Shield of the Outcast.
Correct. Well, attend the party and do the other task that I cannot inform you of at the moment because I need to talk to other informants before I know exactly what you'll be doing.
Is there a deadline that we should inform you of our intentions? Or are you looking for an answer right now?
Well, if you're simply not here in a month, I'm going to start becoming upset. But we can discuss this further when I know exactly what task I need you to do. I understand that our agreement isn't I command you and you simply do whatever. I assumed, however, giving that exact offer early would be to her benefit. She's staring at Navali.
It is something I feel it would be best as a group decision. Though I do appreciate the offering of it and the chance to gain the orphanage. But it is a group decision.
Of course, you may discuss it over the month, and I shall simply assume if you decide to disappear again, you chose not to. Now then, I have been informed you wish to speak to me, so I assume there's more than this business to get to. By all means, is there something you require?
Leo looks to Rev and then sort of looks to his book that is sort of on the side of the pool, which he probably would have told you is sort of the he needs to open his book to cast the spell if you want to expedite things.
She clearly waits patiently for any responses to herself.
I'd like to just tell it the way it is, Liren.
Sure.
The disappearance is my fault, Rasahari. I asked if they would accompany me into the Rasahari to act on the information that you gave me.
If you gave me more forewarning, I could have made an official petition so you'd be paid for this.
I apologize. I didn't think about it.
I merely wish to showcase that this is not simply adversarial. Continue.
We rescued my brother from captivity. He's in Dolvaran. He knows a lot about snow. I don't know what questions to ask, and he's still adjusting.
His name is Willow. I'm aware of him.
She nods.
Or to put this another way, I assume you knew I was aware of him. I told you where he was.
She nods. Was there... She's turning to the rest of the group. Did you have other things you wanted to talk about before? Six is gesturing vaguely to the gun.
Character glances at Navali and says, perhaps the situation with Pimlico might benefit from some clarity.
Out of character, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a month. You can discuss out of character to figure stuff out if you'd like for a moment.
Well, it's more like I think she would appreciate knowing that Pamilia, we basically abducted Pamilia's sister, in effect, and why we did that, and also what might be happening with that family.
Yeah, like it seems like she's okay. Like she's just like, okay, I guess I'll figure it out. I guess we'll just have problems with Iridia, but it's like maybe she should know a little bit more in case she does have to put out fires.
Not a bad idea. Also meeting with Scarlet and learning about the dimensional portal.
Should we also discuss about the Iron Angel?
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, we accompanied one of our guild members to Aridia. It was on the way towards the Rasahari desert. Parmelia wished to meet with her family, and so we did. And along the way, we also met with Scarlet, who gave us some interesting information regarding something within the desert. Something that might be causing the creatures that are in it. We also learned of something called the Iron Angel. And, well, he only gave us so much information in regards to it. Something about how this angel might be able to stop whatever is in this desert. This portal that these creatures that are roaming in there might be coming from, but only the sword that they have might be able to seal it away. So we learned that, and then we had a very interesting altercation with her family. Navali says that with a unsure, like, how to phrase it expression. And we got out of there quickly. That's when we met with Rosaline. And as you know, she is here in Dulveran, which is probably why you're getting some not so great political situations. But she was in trouble and we needed to help her.
If I may ask, what has the story been coming to you, Rosalind? As have you received complaints? Have you received threats about Iridians?
It is a complicated situation. I will let you know that Iridia as a whole does not fully disagree with us taking Rose into our wing. But the southern portion is extremely upset, and I would personally advise you avoid them. If you wish to go to the eastern or northern portions, I doubt they'd care. So you are aware, as apparently your own companion had not told you, she is still considered the ambassador to Iridia from Dulveran. She's not exiled from her country.
She's not?
She is not.
Huh. I kind of figured after everything that had happened that might have changed.
Oh, I'm sure her family is quite upset, but her family is not the entire country.
Are you saying that the official story is that we've abducted both of them?
The official story is that the Iridian ambassador to Dulveran decided to go visit her family and took her sister back. And the noble family who they belong to are very upset and are complaining about it. Assume this is abduction, while Iridia as a whole claims this is completely legitimate and legal.
That is unexpected.
It is a complicated story. I guarantee you, you have either made friends in Iridia or someone is using you as pawns. That is the only thing that I can assume. As you might imagine, I have checked with your newest companion.
Well, one other thing regarding the legend that Scarlet told us Are you aware of the growing threat coming from monsters out of the desert?
We had large theories, and some scouts gave many reports, but I was unaware of the exact, precise nature of it. I, as some of you are likely aware, was born and raised in that desert, and am aware that it has been changing, but I did not know there was some kind of planar break. I heard of this Iron Angel.
It is worth noting that it will get worse. The estimation we have is that Leo's kind of looking to Six and Rev to make sure he doesn't say too much. Well, that the surrounding areas will be threatened in the coming years in a way that may be unsustainable and may spread.
May I explain it to her? I felt it happen.
Leo pulls back from the conversation.
Six, as you say that, you feel her eyes look towards you, and for the first time, you do truly feel naked, because she's examining you very thoroughly, because the exact words you used piqued her curiosity, and minimum, she noticed your change in voice and is giving you her full attention.
I have to go get my gun. It's right there.
She gives a gesture.
Six gets up to get it. She picks it up and carries it over and offers it to Rosalind to hold.
She'll take it.
There was an accident in the battle between my father and yours. It was a new Victorian weapon. Something went wrong, and it created that rift.
Roll insight. Watching her expression, you can certainly see thoughts going through her mind. She is always someone who tries to keep exactly what she's thinking hidden, but for a brief second, the exact words you stated showcase a mixture of extreme concern and frustration that quickly gets hidden again.
Rosalind, I need to talk to you about what happened.
I am listening.
My mom was trying to separate your dad and Snow. I think to save him. Something happened. He was very hurt, and she died. Everybody died. Except for your dad and for Snow. I know this because my mother and your father became an Eidolon, and they showed me. I could feel everything with my body.
She takes a very deep breath and slowly hands you the gun back. Can you show me?
She nods. We know someone from the Tandem Imperium. She knows a spell. She can get you inside the demi-plane of an Eidolon. I don't know if she'll agree or even where she is, but if she
Is it Azel or Rhea?
It's Azel.
Very well.
He, his last wish was that you would be well.
I apologize for ending this early, but I am going to excuse myself for a moment. Please do not leave the city today. I may get back to you.
She nods.
And with that, she doesn't even wait to see if anyone else agrees to this. She immediately leaves.
Six exhales a shaky breath.
You did good, Six.
She nods. Thank you. I was really scared.
Mm. But that was the right thing to do.
She deserves to know.
She does. And hopefully this will help her have a chance to grieve.
I don't think that she has yet.
I don't think so either.
She sort of handles the gun, looking down at it. I feel like it's what they wanted to.
I can see that.
If there's still boozy fruit juice, Six is going to take one and just chug.
Oh, there's tons.
Okay, she's going to have two.
There are 4 bottles. I'm going to roll a d4 really quick. Con save. It tastes tart and then immediately sweet, goes down your throat, and then you feel warm all over for just a moment. You understand this is very alcoholic, but your body just doesn't care. It's relieving all that stress that you just lost and rebuilt immediately.
Okay, I feel better. I think tonight I'm going to hang out at that inn that Rose rented for. I'm going to make myself easy to find. Rev.
Yeah.
If Azel agrees and we do this, she's gesturing to her hand. You could understand that snake, right?
Yeah.
Will you come with? I can't understand what it says.
Of course.
Six sort of tries to read the room and see what people's reactions are.
Do you wish for me to be there as well?
Yeah.
Then
I
will
think
be
Mom
there.
would like you.
I hope she does.
I think I'm gonna go get my clothes on and go.
Rev won't say anything, but when that's suggested, he'll also get out of the water and start making his way to do the same.
Seems like spa time is probably over.
With the tenseness in the air, it is very hard to relax. And as you gather your things, no one stops you. No one questions this. You might even notice, if you're more curious, some of the people around seeming relieved that you're leaving early. Shield the Outcast, what do you do for the day?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know that we would be responsible for paying for this, but did Azel have to spend like expensive reagents to do that spell when we went to the one time?
It was a long time ago, so I'm going to ask you to roll wisdom.
Yeah. I mean, I recall that we were all sitting on a table or like laying down, hooked up to something, but I just don't remember if there's like incense burning or.
So you don't quite remember what the exact reagents were. You don't remember a smell or particular anything glittery because you were a bit preoccupied trying to save your friend. But you remember afterwards, Crow mentioned the spell cost over 1,000 gold.
Right. Okay. Leo would just, sometime during the day to probably, like while we're walking, sort of like should we warn Azel or Crow so that it's not sprung on them when Rosalind knocks on the door?
Roswind has money.
I feel that what Leorin is trying to say is that maybe Rasahari appearing and demanding a spell might be a bit jarring. It would be polite.
I don't agree. My opinion is that Rosalind should be allowed to handle this the way that she wants.
Ah, I see.
Did I? Not disagreeing with that, but I assume that it will take them time to procure what they need. So I suppose if Roswin does approach you, just sort of, it may be wise to set the expectation that it may need not just raw cash, but it may need time.
Roswin's a big
Ra-
girl.
And strikes me as the kind of person who would perhaps either come prepared or be ready to spend a lot of gold to make things happen quickly. Especially where this is concerned.
I agree.
For my own curiosity, Reverence, how do you look right now?
On the way back, I suppose.
Yes, like after all of this and during their conversations.
Pensive. Probably staring at the ground as he walks. Like listening, but like just kind of in his own thoughts.
Makes sense. Still, with this conversation, you still have the day ahead of you. What would you like to do?
Assuming we sit down and like take a break somewhere or get a drink or whatever it is, I think Leo would want to bring up Regarding the orphanage, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. When I was posing the questions, I didn't mean to suggest that I didn't support it. It's also not my call, but it's been on my mind, even just regarding the winery with what we've set up with Sylph. That maybe if nobody's opposed, I could investigate sort of hiring some folks to tend to things when we're not here. Like people who could harvest grapes, or should we be looking into getting control of the orphanage, looking into hiring some caretakers that we can trust? Just knowing that we don't spend a lot of time in Dolveron to run things ourselves, I just wonder if me being the contracts person, if that's something you all would want me to look into.
I'm assuming that uncomfortable silence is intentional as the party is thinking about it. That being said, I will also state both Navali and Rev are easily able to find places that gladly serve you some very cheap food uh, and give you time to relax and think about what to do next. Navali, you know why. Rev, it's because you're born here. So let us imagine that you decide to go get lunch and you're having this conversation. I will ask, for the sake of my own curiosity, do people want to take a moment to actually think about what they're going to do, or is there something in particular or an answer that they think they have for Leo now?
Rev has some thoughts, I guess.
Go for it.
I'm hesitant to hire outside help at this time, given our circumstances with the city, I suppose. It may be worth looking into in the future for the sake of the orphanage, but in terms of the winery, we perhaps might want to keep that internal for now.
We've done some recruiting, so perhaps VD or somebody may have an interest in taking those duties on. My thinking and my thinking is one effort could also fund the other if we do find ourselves in a more favorable position to take care of the orphanage, then maybe in the simplest terms, selling grapes, if not doing something more with them, may provide the funding needed to hire caretakers for the orphanage or something along those lines.
There is a lot of great staff currently at the orphanage. I can perhaps speak with them later, but I would assume that would be done after we see about if we do acquire ownership.
Oh yeah, that's really exciting news, Navali.
I just hope to make life a little easier on them. It really does sound like Mother Marigold doesn't, well, you know.
Valley. If you choose to accept the offer, I'm in full support of you.
Thank you.
Same.
I appreciate it. If it truly is too much for the guild to take on, I can see about taking ownership of it fully. My suggestion as to the reason why I think it should be a guild effort is, well, given that I'm still under certain circumstances, and I feel it would be better and safer if it was under our guild name rather than just my own.
Of course, you have our full support.
Thank you. I'm sure the children there also very much appreciate it.
Perhaps Leo Leo's like looking in his book and notes and ledger and whatnot, and he probably recognizes that we might be overdue on paying the baker to feed them. And he sort of suggests, like, should we stop by right now? We've been out for some time.
That might be best, yes. There actually is something I did want to let you all know about. Perhaps maybe here is not the best place, but I might have found a little bit more information regarding. She makes a motion of like. Oh, I guess I should say she probably quiets her voice a little bit about the Iron Angel. Perhaps not here is the best, but I discovered something that might be an interesting lead.
Leo has like a sort of sharp inhale of like not in a dismissive way, but sort of like that's right, we have to get back to fighting way. It's sort of like, oh god,
If you would
starting again.
The killing.
If you would prefer that I wait to speak on it, then I understand it's been very rough the past couple of weeks, and I know we spoke about taking a break, but I admit that I couldn't help my own curiosity's sake for learning something or trying to find some sort of lead on something the other day. It's not very much, but it could be something.
I can say that you're not alone in needing to feel productive. These last 3 days in Dulveron, I was told to relax, and I don't know how.
It can be difficult. Perhaps after our day at the beach, we can speak further on it.
So, with the assumption that Navali and Leo go to that bakery to go give them another 100 gold.
Yeah.
Does it cost that much? Is
For
it
2
that ever
months.
due?
For 2 months.
God. Would Rev have signed off on guild funds if? Yeah, because Leo's purse is looking pretty small.
Oh, for that, yeah.
Okay. Let me
That's pretty
find
fruit, isn't
that
it?
tab. Let me find that tab and make sure we can afford it.
You can. You have, I think, 460 gold in your guild funds.
Okay, yeah.
While they go pay the bakery and have solemn conversations about things in the future and feel that niggling feeling that you will eventually have to fight again. What is the rest of the party doing?
Really quick, Rev.
Hmm.
6 goes into her coin purse and pulls out 5 coins for the beach. I know it's not the whole thing. I worked a few days at the Bearded Anvil to try to help.
Oh. All right. Didn't we already pay the deposit on that?
We did.
Yeah, but I mean, people can pay you for the deposit you spent on.
Right. I guess he'll add it back to the guild fund.
I said it was 5.
Yeah. I
Okay,
took the
I'll do
5
it.
gold off my sheet screen.
Cool. So, I'll ask one more time before I advance time. Is there anything you'd like to do for the day?
Rev's gonna go to the Umbra district.
Funny enough, you kind of follow Leo and Nivali because the bakery's in the Umbra district, but yes,
Well, he's gonna go to Noctigal, so I'm sure he breaks off at some point.
you do. You have no issues in doing this. Is there a particular thing you'd like to happen there, or would you like to just say you do that?
Just hang out and catch up with Altair.
I will let you know. He seems quite happy as the person who is in charge of the ring seemed to have returned recently. Or not even that recently. But you've been gone, so he couldn't inform you that they returned.
He is very happy to hear that and will heavily overpay for his drinks.
Cool, mark a gold off then.
Yep.
At this point, I'm just going to call on people and check. Hey, Karuto.
I think I've already checked in with Shushiki and we're going to be eating the beach, so I don't think I have any other business to deal with.
Hey, Six.
I'll probably go hang out at the Tandem Imperium if allowed and ask if, like, Varia needs any help with anything.
Okay. Could you roll me a D100? Works for me. Roll me perception. Varia is happy to distract you. Roll me insight. Something is going on in their basement at this exact moment, and they do not want you to go any deeper.
6 gives Varia a look like something's going on. She's not subtle about it, but she doesn't actually ask the question.
And with you clearly noticing, she's just not going to say anything and say, yes, also, here's some coin. We're going to need these liquors. They're going to be missing for tonight, and I need these for mixing drinks. Additionally, get these fruits, and says nothing about the obvious look you gave her.
6 has the look of, I know what you're doing, and then goes down the list and double checks. So we need this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm. And here's the exact coin. If it turns out you get it cheaper, please just give me the change.
I'll be back. And then she does so to the best of her ability.
Celestra, do you do anything in particular today?
I think she would offer to be helpful if anyone needed it, but it didn't really seem like there was too much for her to do. I think she'd likely just kind of take a day to relax and hang out at the Tandem Imperium after the spa.
Could you also roll me a perception check then?
Okay.
Celestra, as you relax, it's the middle of the day, it's not crowded, and if you request something, either Six or Vari is happy to grab it for you very quickly. It doesn't take you too long to notice why they're kind of trying to keep people away from the basement, as every now and then you see it open and close, and notice that Rosswind is here. She's in the basement.
Hmm. I think Solastra would keep that to herself, but kind of observe who's coming and going.
Doesn't seem to be, as I said, slow day, so only the people who actually work here are. They don't get busy until the evening, after all. In fact, normally they're just considered closed at this hour.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that would be all.
Okay. So, for my own curiosity, do you inform any of your cohorts about what's going on for the day?
I was thinking that while walking with Navali, I would offer to message Permilia if you want me to tell her where we're going so she could link up with us.
I was actually thinking after we check with the bakery that I was going to go to the Helm's Temple. I'm not certain that's something Parm would want to do, but thank you for the offer, Leo.
Sure. Would you like any company there, or do you want to go alone? I'm not doing anything if you need something.
You're welcome to join me if you would like. The past couple of months, I have come to realize that my perception of my god is, I guess, something that's still new to me. I'm still understanding many things, and I feel it is only right that I try to learn as much as I know. And not just the basics. So I've been trying to be better about learning and understanding him. I understand that's not the most interesting thing.
Well, if they have a library, I like looking through books. So I expect you probably communicate in a more spiritual nature, but if there's maybe a research component of items that are at the temple, I'd be happy to help.
I can see what High Priestess Mean has. But yes, you're more than welcome to join me if you'd like.
Sure.
The two of you head to the temple then, after you square away the bill, and they are very happy to continue to pay for the orphanage. This is a lot of money for them.
Mhm.
Arriving there, I don't believe Leo has been here before.
Nope.
It's not that nice of a place. It seems to be built up and taken care of, but it's clear that it was built to be functional and not stylish. It's definitely not a place that you would normally associate with obvious worship. But you see familiar iconography that Navali wears across the building. And as she enters, it still seems clean and nice, and is a place that clearly tries to take care of any who enter. And you also see another Vera who gets up from cleaning around and just looks over to you. I see you are back. Is there something you require?
I just wish to learn more, High Priestess. I felt like I understood Helm and his teachings, but I need to know more. I need to broaden my understanding of him. If you have time, I would just like a lesson.
It seems a bit strange to teach a follower the basics, but I'm certainly willing to do so.
Thank you.
Please, let me get the books and scriptures, as perhaps this might help you when I am not around.
I would appreciate it.
Is
No.
there an open library here of
No.
teachings?
So we have some, but they're not a library. We have just a few things from here and there. It is not a widely worshipped god. Unfortunately, many of these scriptures would have been, let's say, lost to other nations. Would you also wish to learn about the Way of Helm?
I don't know if I know this in character or out of character, but is Leo piecing together that the Varya are perhaps like the flagship folks who worship? Like,
Roll religion or just a straight intelligence. It's possible. At the very least, you can clearly tell that these two are.
are they the only two, like, in this place right now?
They're the only two people in the place at all, yes.
Leo sort of looks to Navali and says, I seek to be helpful, but I don't want to get in the way. If he kind of just trails off, sort of figuring out if he has a place here or not.
The woman does not seem to mind if you wish to sit and listen, but she's not pressuring you to stay if she sees any kind of anxiety.
Yeah, maybe would you mind, Navali, if I just observed out of respectful curiosity?
Of course. If that is all right, Priestess Neen.
Of course.
Thank you.
At some point during this lesson, Leo would, I don't know how big this place is, but he would perhaps stay within earshot and detect magic. Spell slot, not a ritual. He doesn't have time to lay that out.
Sure. Roll my perception.
Super magical.
You only catch a single thing that seems to have a magical aura, and that is a necklace on the High Priestess's neck.
Okay. Leo will just observe, not sort of like leaning in or asking questions, and he's probably more, his eyes are gazing at iconography and statues or sort of whatever there is to look at, and just sort of listening into the conversation.
Completely makes sense. Navale, roll my religion with advantage.
All right, let's see how this goes.
It's about Helm, just so you are aware. Perfect. Knew it.
Every time.
Even with advantage.
Oh, I can't catch a break.
She speaks a lot about the eternal sentry, about the staircase that watches, about how it is not only a protector but enforcer, and many other things. Navali, you've heard all this before, and you still don't understand what Helm's purpose is, especially for you.
That tracks. I imagine that as this lesson is going on and Navali is trying to comprehend it, perhaps like a bit after the lesson, she will speak up to the priestess. I do have another question, actually. This one is less about Helm and more something to do with the homeland.
The forest, yes. I assume.
Yes.
By all means.
Navali takes a second, and it's sort of like a look of like she's unsure if there's even a point to asking about it. But she'll look back to the priestess. Do you know if there's still a guardian there? A guardian of the forest?
I will admit, when our land was taken, I fled and never looked back. I heard rumors from others who have left in more recent time of what has gone down there, but I could not confirm for my own ears. If I had to give a simple guess based upon the murmurings of Helm itself, no.
Yes, I had a feeling. Does that mean you were there when it happened?
I left about 2 months before it did. My family was given forewarning of the army's marching and fled from advice of others. She holds her book out. They wanted to make sure this got out should the worst come to pass.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever meet the protector of the forest before you left?
I have not. I heard she was a great woman.
Navali has a look on her face of like kind of figuring that was probably going to be the case. Yes, I heard the same. Thank you, Persisting.
Of
I
course.
very much appreciate your lesson today. And Navali will drop a couple gold pieces. She'll drop 5 gold pieces in for the offering.
She will give a very small smile and a nod to you. You're always welcome here. And if there is something I can help you with that isn't simply the basics, as I'm aware you're a follower, please, by all means.
Thank you. I simply wish to have a better understanding of Helm. And Navali will get up and walk over to Leo. I am ready to leave if you are.
Very well. Sometime during the walk out, Leo would sort of circle back to something she said and say, I know we've talked about that spell of mine in regards to your mother before, but if there's missing information about Helm, records lost, stories that well, the potential to recover them, although, as you know, the financial expense is quite great.
Yes. Selfishly, I would like to ask of learning more of my mother, but I know there are a lot more things we need to figure out. Iron Angel and more about this strange dimensional thing in the Rasahari desert.
There's quite a lot of unanswered questions, but I don't think it's wrong to want to know things that are close to heart. I have a couple of those myself.
That's right, we did speak about sharing stories. Perhaps on our break we can do that.
Leo nods.
I hope the temple wasn't wasn't boring.
No, it's I mean, without knowing how to phrase it out of character, because Leo has +5 intelligence, he has a higher religion than you. Even he's not proficient in it, but he has. He sort of turns and says, I'm a scholar of sorts."
For the sake of my own curiosity, could you roll me religion again?
Me?
Yes, you.
It's still higher than
Okay,
Navali.
I just needed to confirm that you do know more about Helm than Navali. That's all.
I'll admit that I feel like every time I try to understand my own god, I get simply more and more confused. But
I think the priestess has a lens that she speaks through based on her familiarity with Helm. It's not. It's just not the benefit that you have just yet. It's her lesson today, as best as I could tell. Seems to be kind of reflecting on some of her personal beliefs and whatnot, and so I think it just didn't. It's hard for something like that to translate unless you have those very same experiences yourself.
I can see that. From what it sounded like maybe she was there when my forest was taken over, my home. I'm glad her and her family were able to get out and save what they could. But you're right, her experiences and her understandings is much different than what I would say is my own.
And if I know anything about gods, that's sort of that's how all these things are rooted in an individual. It's your relationship with your god, not her relationship with your god.
Mm-hmm.
So she can teach you to a degree, but perhaps the best way to get to know Helm is to worship him.
At the very least, I haven't lost my powers again, so I must be doing something right.
Speaking of, you've never used your powers this past few weeks.
It's true. Regardless, we should perhaps we should catch up with the others and make sure things are still alright.
Very well. We go to the rendezvous point that we definitely organized.
All right, where's the rendezvous point that you definitely organized?
The Tandem Imperium?
Sure. You know that they start getting busy as the sun starts going down, and they don't really want to give you free rooms at the moment as they are fully staffed. But they're allowed to let you just drink there if you'd like.
And sorry, did you remind me? Did you say that I should message Primelia for the Tandem Imperium, just not for Helm?
Just for Helm. If you want to invite her to the Tandem Imperium.
Oh, that's right, because things might go down there.
Yeah.
No, Leo's just sort of like, let me know if I need to ping somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not.
Do you ping anybody? Just for my own curiosity.
Maybe I'll just ping Primelia and say we're running a few errands. And just sort of be like, Navali wanted me to let you know that she'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're the version of Celestra today? Okay, I'll get my own errands done. I'll see her later.
Which is
This might be a question a little bit too late, but I've assumed that we've probably had a long rest because I looked at my character sheet and I'm like, oh, I'm a couple of spells down.
You should not be spells down. You should be at full HP. You should have all your hit dice. You've had several long rests.
Okay, cool.
We need to be ready for the Kraken fight at the beach.
Exactly. So I want to confirm. The rendezvous point is the Tandem Imperium. Do you all meet there?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
But we might, if they're busy, I guess we just go to our other inn.
They don't like they're totally allowing you to like have a table and drink there. They just don't want to give you free rooms.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any conversations you would like to have as the evening starts to roll around and the area becomes more populated? The answer can be no. It's okay.
Everyone's just that eager to get to the beach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so Slosser said BRB, but I don't know if she would clue us in on the situation with Rosalind potentially being there.
It's okay. Go ahead.
She is still away. Yes.
It's okay because as you all round up and get your drinks, the basement door opens with a cloaked figure who points a finger at Six, then points another finger at Reverence. You follow.
Immediately, Six puts her drink down, nods to the group, and wordlessly leaves.
Same with Rev.
Does anyone else try to follow out of curiosity?
Nope.
Navali was asked to join back at the spa, but she will stay sit if, like, specifically Rosalind did not call.
Okay then. Rev, Six. You follow. You are led to the basement. You are led to the same area that you know Azel does all of her things as she takes off the cloak and makes sure obviously it was done just so random patrons wouldn't recognize her. She does not say anything to you during the walk. She just opens the door and continues to seem to be getting other things ready. Azel, however, will look over. Were you just upstairs?
That's correct.
Convenient. I shall make this simple. She has paid for everything. However, I still require something. And she said she would promise me that you would do this, but I need to confirm from your own mouth. She looks over to Reverence. My request was to speak with what's inside of you privately. Afterwards, I will wipe your memory of the conversation.
Rev looks at Rosalind.
That is my favor.
Sure.
Very well. To make sure that you mortals don't go back on your contract, I would like to do that first. Could you come with me, Reverence?
He'll fold his ears, but yes.
It'll be okay, Rev.
Calm down a little bit.
So, Rev. Charisma saving throw. A spell was cast on you. You keep your memories if you choose to.
They don't know that.
They don't, actually.
I will choose to keep my memories.
Cool. Roll me deception.
Oh.
You don't know how good she is at reading you, but she doesn't comment about this. I will PM you stuff that you might have learned. Later, during the break. As you return, Azel just gives another nod, tells everyone to lay on some tables, takes out what appears to be gems and powder, and sets it off to the side. I was informed this will not be dangerous, and you have no intention of attacking it.
That's correct.
Very well. I will drag you out after 10 minutes, and I will not do so earlier by any means. Is that acceptable?
Six looks to Rev, but is sort of like starting to nod, just trying to get a read on him.
Rev looks anxious. He can't really hide it, but yeah, he'll nod as well.
She directs you all to lay on the tables, and I assume you do so. A moment passes as there is clearly just a second where you close your eyes and you feel your consciousness drift as if you're sleeping, but then reawaken elsewhere. You recognize this place, Six. You are exactly where you were a moment ago. You recognize the strange creature that seems to be almost like a furry, small dragon cat that looks at both you and the other visitors. You feel warmth and a breeze across your body. You can almost sense the woman next to you starting to shake a little bit as if unsure of how to react to this. Reverence. All it says at the moment is hello.
It's greeted us.
Six holds her hand out for Rosawind if she would like it.
So I'm going to assume the gesture is a let her talk, not a I'm trying to grab your hand.
It's a comfort gesture, like, do you want to squeeze my hand?
Ah, well, she completely ignores you then.
Okay. Assuming that Rosawind is still hesitant, Six will talk first.
Go for it.
I've brought her to you. I'm back. Can you understand me when I talk?
There's a whistle in the air, and you feel almost like a warm blanket was put around you. Reverence, you can clearly tell it's saying, yes, of course, we all can. It's simply we have no easy way to respond.
It says it can. They all can.
This is our guild leader, Reverence. We're a guild now in Dolvaran. It was Rosawin's doing. We go around trying to help people who need help.
There's a small chill in the air, and it almost feels like a tingle in the back of your spine. Reverence, you hear it slowly start to move. You see it slowly start to move forward as it says, may I touch her?
It's moving toward Rosawind.
Rosawind.
Rev will convey that to Rosawind. It's asking to touch you.
And what will happen if it does?
It might bite you. It hurts in your mind for a moment, but then you can see what it sees. It shared its memories with me.
And you're saying this thing is part of my father?
She nods. I'm certain. I felt him. I could hear his voice. I could feel his body. I could feel his power and his warmth.
She extends her hand to try and touch it. And for a brief moment, notice her eyes seem to blur and then fade to white, and then blink and come back. And you can clearly tell that her legs are shaking, and some tears start to form, and then she just kind of collapses to the ground. Does not seem to want to talk any further. So you have 10 minutes with her just crying in front of you. What do you do too? What do the two of you do?
Does this look like she doesn't know what to do aimed in your direction, Rev?
Oh no, Rev 2. Rev will give her space. I don't know. Does the Idola do anything during this time?
Nope, it just kind of sits there, seemingly content with the situation.
I think Rev just kind of stands near 6.
We rescued my brother. Dad was hurting him and holding him in this place in the desert, and it was an accident, actually, that we were able to save him. It's because Permilia's an Iridian, but she's taught me a lot. She's really nice. She has a magic sword, and she saved him, and he's with us now, and Dad can't hurt him anymore. She just sort of like recounts the cliff notes of rescuing Willow and who Permilia is.
As you're saying all of this, you hear almost a warm, giggling laughter all around you. And Reverence, you can, about halfway through Six's story, hear it start to say, "You should tell her that I can hear and see through our connection. She can talk to me whenever she wants. It's okay."
Rev won't interrupt 6, but he will mention that afterwards.
Oh. Oh. Oop. What do I call you?
This is the only word you understand, as it echoes through everywhere again. Love.
Six sits down in the grass.
This is likely the most awkward 10 minutes of Rev's life.
Yeah.
And Rev has been through some shit. But after those 10 minutes, you feel your minds get dragged back over. There is a very awkward pause as you return to your own bodies. I still need to kill your father.
I know. I do too.
Thank you.
She nods. There's not so much to say about that, or what there is to say isn't appropriate for the situation. He's... Oh, I thought of something. He's not in the Rasahari right now.
I don't want to think about work right now.
I won't mention it again. Can I help?
She pauses and clearly is thinking. I don't know. But I'm not going to forgive you if you lose that then.
I don't plan on ever being rid of it.
Good. And yes, Devil, your second request will be granted too. And Azel seems to just kind of nod off to the side. So with sad, depressing drama, is there anything you would like to say to her before we go to break and cut to something stuff that'll be more cheerful in the next 2 hours?
I want Six to offer to stay in the room so that if she wants company or needs something in the immediate come down from this interaction, that she'll have it.
You can tell that she intends to stay in this room for at least a bit of time and recompose herself. But she definitely does not request anything of you during that time.
Okay, I think Six's offer then is I'll stay here and leave when you want me to.
How about you, Rev?
Rev is just gonna go ahead and make his exit, I think.
Completely makes sense.
Thanks, Rev.
Nods.
Yeah.
So let's cut to break. Get our bathroom breaks in, grab a drink, be back in about 5 minutes.
Break time.
Sounds
As we come back into the scene of her just sitting there, composing herself, Reverence has walked away. Azel is off to the side, apparently doing some research. She seems better after some time. Let's talk about what happened for the past hour in the table upstairs. Did you guys do anything?
Worried. Actively worried. No.
To be clear, Rev and Six were gone for an hour. What will the rest of you be doing?
drinking.
Can I confirm all of you were drinking?
Some probably more heavy than others, but yes.
Leah doesn't drink, but having some juice or something. You think think everything's going in okay down there?
Navali and Karato, please roll me a con save.
On safe.
Bar needs heavier drinks. You're not even feeling it. You're still worried about your friends.
I like to think that Navali's time with Perm has upped her capability of drinking.
Don't know what you're talking about.
They have been down there for some time.
Well, the news Rasahari was given was fairly heavy. I'm sure it is fine.
Well, she does need us to continue with appearances, continue doing the work. So I'm sure she'll control the situation in some way. So what am I supposed to wear tomorrow?
Something comfortable for the beach.
Oh, and what are we doing on the beach?
Beach things?
Forgive me, I don't know what that is. Are we just sort of like sitting there looking at the water? Leo has the look on his face that like he's probably never attended a party in his life.
Character is actually looking at him like he's growing a second head, like, you relax, Leorin. Swim, fish. Enjoy nature.
I don't think there's anything specific you need to do on the beach, but yes, Karto is right. Just whatever helps you relax.
All right.
I mean, Celestra.
I'll figure it out.
What do you plan to do on the beach?
Soak in some sun, enjoy time with friends. That was my plan.
Perhaps you could bring a book.
I suppose, and I can bring my instrument. I don't know if people want to listen to stringed music on the beach.
Someone might. I am curious on to playing perhaps some games. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Rev, as clearly the energy in the table has gone to talking about being anxious and what's in the basement to beach stuff, that's when you come in and see your party talking about beach games.
Quietly get a drink and rejoin them.
Karuto, your natural perception's so fucking high, you notice this easily.
Character is palpably more relieved, but the reason for it is not apparent until Rev appears at the table with his drink.
All is well.
Yep, it seems to be.
How does Rev look?
Does Rev look? Rev looks. I think he was anxious looking going down. He doesn't look a lot better. He looks like. He looks drained, I think is a good word.
Rev?
Hmm.
Do you need to take a moment?
I am. He'll hold up his drink.
Apologies.
Oh, sorry.
I meant if needed, I can accompany you outside.
Sure.
Only if you need it.
The air could do me some good, I think.
We can probably take that drink too.
He's going to anyway.
Navali figured.
before we cut to the outside, as the two of you are probably going to have a conversation, 6,
Hello.
a bit more time passes by, and eventually she composes herself enough to shake her body a little bit. Very well. I still have things that need to get done here. You may go. I must make some arrangements with the devil. And thank you. I hope you know I truly do appreciate what your group does.
I know you do. I see it. She smiles. She sort of looks at the door. We were gonna have a party on the beach tomorrow, and if you wanted to come relax.
Roll insights. Six, as you say this and you look towards her, you have never seen her face contort in such a way, and you have no idea what emotion she's conveying. It is so many at once that just doesn't make sense to your brain.
Did I say the wrong thing?
No. What?
We wanted to relax after our mission, so we booked one of the private beaches and invited a whole bunch of people. We're gonna have, like, booze and games.
Who did she... What?
6 gives her the cliff notes, let's say. No, the details.
You can tell, for the first time ever, you have successfully confused her. Mostly because she had no idea this was happening. Sure, I'll consider the invitation.
Okay. She smiles. I won't lose the gun.
I know.
Giving Roswin time to talk to Azel, 6 takes her leave, but as she's leaving, she gives a little nod. Thank you, Azel.
She just nods back to you.
Then she
You know
leaves.
she's always been quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, she goes to rejoin the others.
Navali! Rev, you go outside to talk.
Navali is there for Rev in case Rev wants to talk, but mostly did this as a way to help if Rev wants to take a moment outside.
So I think Rev, for his part, will he'll take a few moments to just kind of maybe nurse his drink and just kind of be in the night air for a little bit. Actually, you know what? Thank you for coming out here, Navali.
Of course. You looked like you needed a moment outside.
I don't know. I think yes, no, I did. Yes. It's been a lot recently, hasn't it?
I'm unsure what part you're speaking of. Was it the several weeks in the desert or Parmelia's family? Or both?
Good point. Let's say both.
It has been a rather hard couple of weeks, yes. Are you doing all right, Rev?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm okay for right now, for what that's worth. But
I am very grateful that we are going to have a day off, even if we have had a couple days off. But I am excited for tomorrow.
yeah, this will be good. It'll be good to relax, I suppose. And you and everyone put a lot of work into this, very quickly, I might add.
I think something about the idea of just the day, like a real day off, probably puts everybody into working faster, is maybe a good way to put it. But so did you, Rev. You know, we rely on you for a lot, and it must be taxing.
I mean, it is what it is. It's fine.
I am hopeful that tomorrow you'll be able to truly be able to relax for a little bit.
Well, I mean, that does seem to be the goal, even if I have little experience, let's say. So, me too?
If it helps, I also don't have much experience when it comes to beaches. But I did hear there are games involved.
I see.
Something about hitting a ball over a net. I don't know much more than that. It's canon. I'm sure we'll all figure out together how to relax on a beach.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh God.
All right, before we go too off topic there, it's still going to be called volleyball.
It's beautiful.
I apologize if I
Volleyball.
interrupted the scene.
No!
It's fine. Everything is fine. That scene was ending anyway.
Oh my goodness.
You regroup in the Tandem Imperium. For the sake of some brevity, is there any conversations you would like to have before the next day?
None from me. Leo might go clothes shopping at night or the next morning. I don't think he's prepared at all.
Totally makes sense. Unless someone wants to do something, I will state that you go back to your respective places where you sleep and you get a long rest, and the fated day has arrived.
Ah.
Navali,
Yes.
your morning is a bit hectic for once because the person you were with seems to not know what to wear. So, I mean, I want you to see that I can look very nice, but you also invited my ex, and I don't really know exactly what that means. And also, I kind of want to always have a sword on me because people are constantly trying to kill us, and I don't know a suit that allows me to do that. I don't know what to do.
I mean, Vermilia, I think everything you wear looks very nice. But maybe we can do both. We could bring our armor just in case.
Is that a faux pas? I've never actually been to the. I mean, I have been to a beach, but I was like 11, and it was a bit different.
Uh, yes, the closest idea I have to a beach is the time my mother and father took me to a little pond in the forest, but well, my mother never wore armor, so um I don't think it would be a problem. We could put it in the cart and just leave it there. And it's there in case we need it.
We're bringing a cart to the. Oh, I guess we would have to bring the food. And are we bringing food? Are we bringing anything?
I think someone else was taking care of the alcohol, if I remember correctly. I don't know about the food though. I haven't been informed about that, so I'm sort of assuming that's not our problem. I think we should just focus on finding you something you're comfortable in.
Should we ask if we're supposed to bring something?
We could go do that, but unfortunately, I don't have the. Navali like kind of makes a motion with her hands.
We
Magical.
need a Celostrophone.
We do need a Celostrophone, yes. I unfortunately do not have the magical capability to reach out to people.
Okay. It's going to be okay. Can
going
you
to
help
be-
me shop right now?
Of course. Let's get going, and afterwards we can try to see about contacting Celestra.
Her panicking aside, what is the rest of you doing during this fine morning?
Out of character, am I correct that the Tana Imperium is doing food and the Bearded Handful is doing drinks? I thought that was sort of arranged.
The Bearded Anvil is bringing drinks. The food was a bit more wishy-washy.
Because they don't really eat in the same way, but they said they would bring something, if I
They,
recall.
they said they would bring themselves.
Ah.
If you would like me, because it was a while ago, the suggestion was actually Karuto would catch stuff for you to eat.
Oh, yeah. Carto, you gotta feed 70 people.
Well,
Time to get fishing.
Leo would do some outfit shopping, just simple, probably like blue shorts of some kind, and like probably just using one of his like white, uh, like thin white tunics, as a shirt as well, depending on how sunny it is. Nothing too spendy, but he'll pack his loot. He'll pack his some of his books that he always carries with him, and he'll leave like his armor, the armory arm guard, and sort of like some of the extra equipment at the inn.
Okay. I'm now just curious. Does everyone actually bring their armaments just in a wagon towards the beach? I mean,
Rev,
6, I actually just assume you brought your gun.
The gun, but nothing else.
Okay.
Rev, for his part, is just dressing in his normal gear, so he will be armed.
Beach outfit description?
Yeah.
6
You
has pants tied at the ankle and then a wrap around her chest and nothing else.
you all head to the beach. Please do what 6 just did and describe what you're wearing as you start to arrive. You are led into the private area as you showcase that, well, you were the ones who purchased it.
Karuto has decided to go with something sort of fairly simple and lightweight, which is just a tunic and some cloth wrapped in an elaborate fashion to keep his modesty.
Navali?
Navali is wearing a black one piece that is there's like holes in the middle and a sort of like small skirt. There is no back to the swimsuit though.
For the sake of some simplicity, Permelia took a cue from you and got a very similar one, except its color was more of a tannish white.
Navali
Sorry,
thinks
did
she
you just
looks
tell
very
me
cute.
they're wearing matching outfits? Because that is adorable as shit.
Yes.
Yes.
Leo.
Kind of like I was saying earlier, just blue shorts and a thin shirt. I'd like to think that he also probably, like, Leo doesn't have fashion sense per se, but he has been in like fancy government crowds before, and so there's he has an element of style that encouraged him to like buy a uh, buy a shoot, what are the, like one of, like a sun hat, like those big wide rimmed sort of like Raiden from Mortal Kombat hats. Um, Something to like keep the sun out of his eyes, as well as like some flip flops, like fantasy flip flops, whatever that is. And definitely a parasol, something that he could sit under.
Makes sense. Slostra.
Celestra has a purple bikini top and a cute little swim skirt thing around her waist area.
That honestly sounds really adorable. Reverence, you're going in your armaments, right?
Yeah, correct.
Perfect.
Damn, Permelia, you're hot.
Thank you. And as you say this and time starts to pass, as you start getting things ready, Karato, you are able to actually rent a fishing boat for only a couple of silver today and go out a bit further to fish if you would like.
Hells yes.
I'm going to ask preemptively before I start describing all the other guests, because this could take a while. Who is going fishing so I can bring up the fishing minigame?
Oh boy.
Karito is absolutely going to invite obviously Tushuki, but also Six and Rev because he probably needs to unwind.
I'm in.
Rev wants to give a chance to this whole relaxing thing. He will also be in.
He also opens the floor to anyone who wishes to come with, depending on how much room we have on this boat.
It's fairly large. It is designed to catch some bigger fish, so it could easily bring up to even 10 people without any issues.
Leo's looking at his spell list to see if there's anything he could do to make it easier.
I was looking at Navali's as well.
Like Loki,
Karito,
creature of
if-
fish.
Karito, if that was suggested,
it
would
catches your
staunchly
closest
refuse it.
fish.
Karito would be like, no, we're doing this the traditional way.
No magic.
This is part of the relaxing. There's a ritual behind it.
Bro,
Yeah.
no magic. Karito is getting his relaxation on.
I would do nothing to interrupt that. Perhaps I will sit this one out and help to set up the tables and such. And greet people who come in.
So it doesn't take long for there to be a flood of people. For the sake of me not describing about 70 outfits, I'm going to be very brief for many of them. The Tandem Imperium are mostly in two-piece bikinis. A few of them are wearing one-piece ones. If you want me to tell you which ones, I will, but it's not. You can probably assume. Most of the dwarves come in less fanciful clothing, let's put it that way. Many of them essentially turned work clothes into this'll work, and none of them are wearing shirts. And for those who are male attracted, they're all very buff.
Hey, Karuto, I'm not going fishing, sorry.
Haruto looks visibly confused.
Mind you, they are still dwarves, 3 to 4 feet tall, but these are people who work in, not only are they trained fighters, many of them, they work in a forge for their day job all the time. They're very strong looking and not wearing anything besides work clothes as pants, essentially.
It's been a while since we played. Can you just remind me? We did talk to Crow about the whole like other people are being invited and
Oh yes,
they
no, they
shouldn't
are.
be.
They look like humans.
Okay, and also like don't this isn't a feeding frenzy.
Oh, that was never promised.
But they aren't technically. They're not allowed to operate in Dolveran, and we're in Dolveran.
Correct.
Okay, well then it's their responsibility.
But with the brief description of many people coming and those who went out fishing, Six, did you actually decide not to fish? Just so I'm aware.
No, I'm actually going. It was a joke and it didn't land.
I did get the joke, but if
So
it was
did
in
I.
canon, I would have made it just in canon. It's fine.
No, she like says that out loud to Karuto in canon, and Karuto's like, "What? The dwarves are hot, Karuto. It was a joke. I'm attracted to the dwarves."
Oh, I see. Yes.
Dude, do you see that dude's arms? Holy shit!
Gary sort of looks for a minute or two, and there's a look of speculation on his face. I can appreciate this. Yes.
She does go fishing.
So to confirm, it's the two Cass and Karuto. And two Shiyuki, technically.
Mhm.
I would like all of you to do your proficiency modifier is +4 right now, right?
Yes.
I'd like all of you to roll me 40-20. Six, roll me 1d100. Karuto and Rev, roll me 3d100. Six, have you ever been fishing before?
Probably not.
I mean, you grew up in Harbortown.
Oh.
Well, you didn't grow up, but your teenage life was there.
Probably like a few times, but she didn't pay that much attention.
This makes sense. So for you, as you're taught the absolute basics, you catch a few things. A couple of them look kind of nice, and it's your instinct and your training was the moment you catch something, you essentially decapitate it, which is not actually a great thing to do. So doing things like this causes many slowdowns. You catch a couple of fairly, you don't know what they're called, but they're decently sized. You're pretty content as you catch 4, 5, 6 of them over the hour. And then you look to your left and right. Rev and Karuto Karuto, I assume you're used to river fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Oceans are different. You just throw the line in and something nibbles instantly. It's really weird. And 1, 2, 3, 4, almost a dozen in seconds. Reverence, I'm assuming you fished to eat before.
Absolutely.
So about halfway through watching this, you just create a couple of little lures, put them in the water, wait until they come up, and just grab them with your hands. And then crack their skull on the boat real quick and throw them in. And 6, they catch almost triple your amount. Now, for the sake of some hilarity, I need another D100 from Rev and Karuto.
Hey guys, this fishing thing's pretty easy. Hey,
I need both of them to roll me a strength saving throw.
Oh, oh God.
Rev, as you catch a bunch of them, this time you wait for a lure for a moment, and then suddenly your arms just go tight, and you have to brace yourself on the boat as you caught something that's way too big for you. And you are pulling, but when you look down, it looks like it might be half the size of the boat. And then you look to the left and see Karuto also lure just caught one, and he does not have the time to brace himself as he just falls straight into the water. 6. Well, first of all, Karuto, you're just grabbed by Tushiyuki. You manage to get your line back, though it snaps off immediately. You don't manage to catch the fish entirely. But you then look over and see Rev struggling desperately to hold on as the entire boat seems to shift with the pull.
oh shit. Rev, you know how to swim, right?
Yes.
Can you get Karuto? I'll hold the boat.
Tushiyuki helped him get him back in the boat.
In that case, can I help Rev?
Sure. How do you want to help Rev?
So, try to pull.
Pull a lot with strength, sure. Athletics, technically. You pull with all of your might, and the boat pushes you forward. Dexterity saving throw from everyone.
I'm gonna Indomitable.
I always love it when you start using class features for a fishing minigame.
I am very serious about catching fish.
Karuto, you are dragged back onto the boat. It suddenly lurches and threatens to capsize for a split second, and you fall immediately back in.
Cat is not just having a good time.
But you do manage to hold your grip, Rev, and it is fighting you hard. The boat is shaking. It's threatening to even drop the rest of the fish you already caught back into the ocean. What do you want to do?
How is it like? Okay. Is it like anywhere near the surface? Can I see any part of it?
You can see a dark shadow underneath. It's incredibly hard to judge because you're looking into water. So roll me perception. It's hard to judge. There's definitely a dark shadow. You don't see the actual fish part. Even though the sun is blaring down, it's pretty clear water. It's deep, probably. You don't know the distance.
Something I don't have a lot of great options for. So I mean, he's not gonna risk the fish we already have. If it looks like it's gonna get to that point, he'll just drop the rod, but otherwise, I guess he'll pull?
Go ahead and roll me athletics. You pull and you try to brace yourself and you try to use your own strength and not the boat's strength. And it starts to pull you into the water, but you're holding on to it and you're just dragged under the water in a split second. What's your terrible idea, Six? Because it just got worse.
6 claws out, goes into the water. I'm gonna beat the fish up.
So
Rev,
you said this is a terrible idea? This is the best idea?
as you are being dragged by holding the fishing line, you feel the water ripple as Six dives in. Now, here's the problem, Rev. You're wearing your full armaments. It's not easy for you to move.
How far from shore are we?
I will state, however, you did not say you brought your claws. I assume you meant your tabaxi claws.
Tabaxi claws. Yes, natural weapons.
Okay. Rev, roll me perception again. You have no idea how close the shore is. You were letting Karuto do all the boating. So before I ask what you do in precisely, Rev, I'll take a step back. Karuto, what exactly are you doing as all this chaos is going on?
Probably picking himself up, realizing what the hell's happening, and maybe sort of panicking a little. Like this doesn't happen in river fishing. Like there are big fish, but not this. So like it's the weird moment where someone who has lots of experience at one thing which is similar tries to find knowledge and just sort of locks up to a degree. Habaret's in trouble, so Karuto is at least going to try and use his meager strength to brace him, but not help him, because I can't.
Okay. Rev, tell me what you're doing, and you will probably get advantage on it as you feel Karuto's hand grab you.
I was about to ask how far into the water am I?
Not that far. Like, you just fell in. The problem is, with all your armaments, you would probably sink and not float.
After just stopping you sinking. Like, oh fuck.
I don't think he would hang on to the rod at this point. He's in the water and he's got his chain shirt on, so he's probably just gonna reach for Karuto.
Okay. Roll me athletics. So I'm not going to make it worse, but I am going to state that getting onto the boat is going to take a while, and it is not going to be easy. So you two are not going to be able to do much to help the fact that Six is swimming towards this fish.
That
gonna
makes
fight
sense. Karuto is really weak. I say really weak. He's actually got strength 10 now.
Though,
Like,
do roll me another athletics. You do have advantage on this.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
yeah, because I braced you.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get back onto the boat without any actual issues. So anyway, Six.
I'm a hunter. I am nature incarnate. I am a predator.
Roll me athletics. Oh my god. Six.
Yeah?
You get exactly one round of attacks before it's going to flee from you and be too fast for you to get away.
Fantastic. So I'm going to use the way home because it's the same damage, just it's not a magic item.
Sure.
Does a 15 hit?
Yes. You have disadvantage, though, because you're in the water.
Okay. I'm going to turn this into a trip attack.
I sure, but I will state it cannot go prone underwater.
I just want to stack damage.
I understand. I'm just not bothering with saving throws here.
All right. 12 slashing.
Okay.
Second attack. Goading attack, just again to do more damage.
Sure.
That's me at the fish.
Doesn't understand you.
18 more slashing damage.
Okay.
Is this thing still alive?
Yes.
Action surge.
Of course.
Once again, I'm adding a superiority die. We'll call it trip attack.
Okay.
12 more damage.
Still moving.
One more attack. I'm going to use a superiority die to turn this into a precision attack.
Sure.
And then I don't think I can use the second one to boost the damage.
Correct.
For another 6 slashing, is it still moving?
You slash into its neck this time, and all these claws rip into this fish, and then it stops swimming, blood flowing through the water, and it just starts to float upwards.
I swim back up. I did it, guys. I killed the fish.
All of you see Six swimming next to the fish that's half the size of this boat. Clearly not strong enough to drag it onto the boat.
Holy shit, good job.
Thanks. I called it a bunch of mean names. Yeah, they were so savage it died.
Thanks. When did you take levels in Bard?
I've always been a bard.
Yeah, so character upon saying this, like, oh wow, that's incredible. Quick, get the oars, and starts paddling the boat over.
So for everyone else's sake, they're only like 20 feet into the water. It was only a chaotic situation, is why I didn't explain that to Rev. So you all got to see this happen.
Everything good out there?
I caught a
Character
fish.
gives the thumbs up.
Leah will turn to like the dwarves or whoever's nearby and say, I think food will be served shortly.
I mean, if she wants to fish that way, we can help.
This is Rasahari fishing.
One of the dwarves shouts back, "How is that better than normal fishing?"
It's more fun. This is
Fuck it, I'll try. He dives into the water.
yes. This is full contact fishing.
As you bring the boat over, and the entire group of the boat is required to bring it actually into the boat, you know the boat actually sinks a little bit, and you row it back over to the beach. It'll probably feed most of the party. I'm not talking about the group, by the way. I'm talking about the party. I'm going to go begin preparing and cutting it. If you wish to catch some more, I will simply be over there. As he ties a rope and literally drags this giant fish through the sand.
Amazing.
Is it like a shark? Like now that you can kind of look at it? Or is it like
It
a big
is
salmon?
a 200-pound tuna.
Oh,
Yo.
Which, by the way, was actually on the table. Good job.
That's worth Mundo bucks.
depending on its
That's
quality,
good.
you don't even have to cook it. It's just sashimi.
Well, that is what he intends to do. So the rest of you get to witness this and then watch as Tushiyuki grabs the fish and moves off the side and begins carving bits of it off. What are other people doing to relax on the beach for the first hour?
Navali is hanging out with Perm.
Roll a perception check. There is a bit of awkwardness because you can tell that she's enjoying her company and trying to be nice and attentive to you, but her eyes keep looking towards a certain other person who has more purplish hair off to the side, who is also looking at her and then you and making connections in her head. And she clearly is trying to keep direct eye contact away from Monel. There is definitely tension in the air. With a 21, I'm going to give you something else too, but I'm going to whisper it to you.
Okay.
And I'll give you a moment to process that and simply ask, Celestra, are you being the greatest snake and just laying in the sand, feeling warm?
Most definitely.
The sun feels
Enjoying the
great.
natural heat.
It relaxes your entire body. It feels way better than massage. Why did you get a massage? You could just do this all day.
Good question. This is great.
Oh, I should also add with that 21 Navale, as many of you probably predicted, Rose, uninvited, found a way in. She's also wearing a black one piece, though hers has a back and very nice hat and just set up a parasol and is clearly trying to coax some of the dwarves into rubbing her back with what appears to be suntan oil.
I would say Navali will make note of what you whispered over to me, but in her mind, she is thinking, nope, this is a relaxing day. No work. And so she will look to Perm and say, do you want to get out of here for a moment?
She looks over to Linnell. Yes.
Then we shall.
And where do you go out of curiosity?
Far enough to have some privacy.
Roll me another perception.
All right.
It's actually not too difficult. So this private beach is nestled between a cliffside to one and what appears to be man-made walls to the other. But when you head towards the cliffside, you notice that the cliff itself has dozens of small coves inside of it. Clearly just because ocean rising and falling ripped part of it out. But if you want privacy, you can just kind of sneak into one of those coves and have a conversation there.
Navali will take them there.
I'm not going to ask for further questions or clarifications.
One thing that I do want to mention is I feel like since we brought the cart, Mira is also probably there.
Sure.
And same with Staluna. I'm just gonna say that Navali told them to just basically hang out and have fun.
Mira took this as guard the equipment for some reason, but everyone else, for some reason, in the middle of the day, there is a bat flying around. They assume it's a familiar and no one interrupts it, but it's a little bit weird. So, Leo, what are you doing for fun?
That's a really good question, but I feel like when the Tandem Imperium folks arrived, Leo, I'm trying to remember from last game, I think he had gotten a read that like Crow would also not know what to do. And so maybe Leo would go seek out Crow and just sort of like see what she's up to.
You find Crow. She's actually managed to convince Rhea to give her a one-piece instead of a two-piece outfit. She is laying off. She had put a towel down to lay on and is literally reading a book, ignoring everything going around her.
Sure. Leo will sort of sidle up next to her and be like, "Can I join you?"
She takes a deep breath and closes the book.
Not to interrupt. I mean, I have my own. He pulls out his own like parasol and says like, "You just seem to have the same idea as I do."
Oh, that's actually allowed. Yeah, that's fine. She opens the book again.
Leo will sort of set up, and he doesn't necessarily go straight to a book. He's just sort of like sitting, 5-10 feet from her in the same vicinity, and just sort of like looking over at the horizon, trying to figure out what it is that people are doing. Kind of like just thinking about things. If Crow were paying attention, she would see that Leo is not hasn't yet pulled out a book and doesn't like. He just sort of is looking for a quiet place to be that doesn't seem alone.
Roll a perception as you're people watching. So you see, many of the dwarves found a variety of different things to do, especially since apparently Rasahari fishing is a thing. A lot of them have dived into the water and are trying to catch fish with their bare hands.
Oh my
It's
God.
not working well for them, but they're trying.
Do they look like they're having fun?
Yes.
All right.
It looks like some of them pre-game, despite the fact it's like before noon. Some others set up large kegs off to the side that appear to be serving what is likely a very pungent and strong ale. You do get some worry, as you definitely notice that a few of the Tandem Imperium are very clearly flirting with them, or some of them flirting with them in another way. For example, many of them question this pink-haired woman who didn't bother to bring clothes. But it seems like everyone is having a good time. With the 19, I am also going to just out loud now share what I shared with Navali. You also notice that Azel and Rhea, two of the succubi from the Tandem Imperium, are off to the side, clearly looking at the equipment that Navali and Premilia brought and discussing something with concerned looks on their face.
So they're looking towards the wagon?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I should also mention just because the visual will make a lot of people happy. Yes, VD also heard Rasahari fishing and dived into the water, but because she has claws, she's far more successful.
Leo just like pauses for a moment and sort of just says, actually sort of interrupts Crow and says, "I'm sorry, just a second, actually. More of just a query, not a."
She closes the book again.
Is just I forget if we talked about this. The Tin Imperium doesn't. Is there an issue? I'm just and he sort of just like nods ahead over to Freya and Hazel.
She looks over. She simply stands up and walks over to them, clearly to ask if there's a problem.
There's a moment where Leo's like, "Oh, I didn't mean you have to go." Okay.
Completely ignores you as you keep talking. After a moment goes by, Rhea, she is the one with yellow eyes and a kind of brownish green hair, looks over to you and gives a very almost semi-concerned smile. So, there's something weird in your wagon. Do you know where you got it from?
Would I? So I'm trying to remember because I know Qualm sees quote unquote sparklies. Is this essentially saying that?
No.
Oh,
They'll allow insight for what she is gesturing towards. Just pointing at the wagon.
why don't you tell me? You seem to know a lot about it.
Uh-huh. Perhaps I'll talk to the others when it's theirs things, not yours. Don't worry, we mean you no harm. You're clearly concerned about this for some reason.
Leo makes a mental note, but lets the, sort of just like lets the conversation diminish. And then when eventually sort of Crow, and it's just him and Crow again, he'll just say, "Sorry, do you want to be left alone?" Or
It's fine. Just brings out her book again.
they told me I need to relax.
I suggest reading.
What are you reading?
This is a dissertation upon the concept of using souls as, well, it's less of a dissertation about what souls can do and more about why some of them don't ascend or descend to other planes, and a theory upon whether it's being weighed or elevated based upon the performance you do in life.
Is this a professional curiosity?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you do to relax?
Yes.
Can I try? Do you need any help?
Mm,
I don't know if there's a stack of books next to her, and if sort of
there is not. And
Oh,
she
okay.
just kind of looks at hers. No, but you can read this after if you want.
Call me curious, but I suppose I wouldn't mind. I'll be back, though, if you could watch my stuff. Leo leaves most of his stuff there, and not right this second, but will eventually want to go make sure nothing's wrong with the cart, but he doesn't want to interrupt things.
Cart seems normal. There doesn't seem to be any damage in the cart. It looks like it is carrying both Navale's and Primilia's both armor and weaponry.
Yeah, he would detect magic just because of Rhea saw something. He doesn't really know how he could see it.
With detect magic, it is the exact things you were expecting to be magical.
All right. I don't know if me as a player is missing something, but I'm like, Leo's like, all right, well, I guess that's fine.
Totally fine.
He'll just go hang out with Crow until the next round of activities.
As you regather yourselves, some of you having fished, some of you relaxing in the sun, some of you doing unspeakable things in a cove. Clearly the party's starting to get going as Tushiyuki complains about the lack of rice, but has served everyone just a single, almost steak of fish that's very thin. It is very delicious. While people are eating, there's clearly just a sign of some revelry and many people relaxing. I'm going to ask if there's particular activities people would like to do during this lovely beach time, or conversations they'd like to have with literally any NPC.
Somebody say something about a ball that you would volley over a net. I've never heard of this game.
Navali, do you want to teach Leo how to play volleyball?
I thought it was pronounced Navalibal.
No, absolutely not. I have my limits and you have found it.
Yeah, she'll be down to play some volleyball.
Is it just you and me? Do we need to recruit some?
She'll ask Perm.
Is it a team game?
Okay, so you quickly find out it's meant to be played in teams of 2 because I'm slightly lazy and don't want to do a much bigger game.
So it's you two. I guess I need to find a teammate then.
Mm-hmm. Navali can do things like, who wants to play some volleyball?
More than a few people will approach you, some of them dwarves, some of them Tan Ethereum.
Right.
And obviously you could also just ask any party member.
Leo is too shy to ask, and so if any party member volunteers, otherwise he'll take whatever NPC comes to him. All right, I guess I get an NPC.
After a pause, VD just kind of raises her hand. I've never played, teach me.
Let's do it.
Okay. Reverence, you still have VD sheet, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So who wants to actually roll some dice about this?
Sure.
I do. Also, like, as soon as Leo picks up that it's a sort of acrobatic game, perhaps. I don't know if that's what you're making us roll.
It is included, yes.
He would ask, like, is this a strictly... Are we... No magic, I'm assuming.
No magic.
Okay.
Don't worry, I promise I won't smite the ball.
Wait, I've heard magic is allowed in this game sometimes.
Is it?
I guess there's different rules.
Perhaps we try it without magic.
Maybe can we do a round with and without?
That could be fun.
Maybe just one of us, because he looks at VD and says like, well, both of us have magic, and only if only one of you, we wouldn't want it to be unfair. He has a bit of a smirk, like he's gloating.
Perp looks like she doesn't care.
Why don't we try, as you suggested, one without and then one with?
Sounds good.
Okay. So I'm going to explain the rules to this and also explain why your teams are hilariously bad at this. Both of them. One person on the team rolls athletics, the other rolls acrobatics.
Gotcha.
6, you're perm.
How is Perm's athletics?
Fairly high. It's +7.
Navali's is also +7.
And what is VD's athletics? I assume Leo has a higher acrobatics.
What athletics?
You'd assume that, but
She has more than +7 acrobatics?
+7 acrobatics.
Oh, okay.
Navali does have a +2 in acrobatics.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Perm athletics, Navali acrobatics.
legitimately, if you just switched a teammate on each side, you'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would be really balanced.
Sure, I'll roll acrobatics.
Leo will go athletics then. If he'll just say, VD, why don't you like whatever the positions are that we're taught, he'll take the one he's bad at.
Go for it. So what we're going to do is after the rolls, we're going to combine them. So Navali,
Yes.
you learn very quickly that the two newbies picked up this game way too quick and score upon you multiple times quickly. Now, the actual way that this is going to go, but you may end it early if you'd like, is it's supposed to be you have to win 2 in a row.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's do another one.
Okay, and this is still the no magic. Like this is part of the same.
It's part of the same
Okay.
set.
No magic.
All right.
Dang.
VD, we're doing it.
Navali is admiring Perm's abilities because she's doing bad.
Navali, you just turn and you're watching her try so hard. She does not want to lose. And then as you're just staring at her, the ball goes right next to your feet and you lose the game.
she blushes embarrassed. A good game. Shall we try with magic?
Sure. Do we want to have the same teams?
I'm good with Perm.
Sure. Stretches, despite the fact everyone can see that these teams are weirdly balanced.
Oh God. Leo's like, somebody spell. I'm not gonna fly.
I'm also trying to look at spells. No, that one.
Okay. Okay. Leo has an act. Would this be like an action and a bonus action?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though I will state, it still counts as normal spell rules.
Yeah.
Mm.
Leo has his plans in order.
This won't probably help with anything, but Navali will just she'll reach over and touch Perm's shoulder, and she'll cast Bless on both of them.
That's a pretty good one.
Pretty good.
Leo will. Oh shoot. he will first, as a bonus action, do his blade dance, which gives him advantage on acrobatics rolls. Or his blade song, rather. And additionally, sometime during the sort of on his quote unquote action, he would use the gust cantrip that he learned from Sylph to sort of just assist him in some way, whether that's like sort of deflecting the ball towards VD or something like that.
So with the gust cantrip, I'm going to let you roll an additional 1d4.
Okay. But Leo will take the acrobatics roll instead of the athletics.
You two switch positions, and that means VD is rolling athletics. I'm going to ask, VD, you have magic. What do you do?
Ooh, good question. So all VD knows is that we just said we're using magic in this one. That's all anybody said, right?
To be clear, also, she'd be doing the athletics, not acrobatics.
Yeah.
So for her, it's just a straight strength check, right?
Yeah, I'm going to take the same roll and just give her the +1, I believe she has.
Oh, for strength, no, it'll be a flat roll.
Totally fine. So it's 11 plus 24. Still really good. Plus an additional 1d4.
I think that was my roll.
Oh yeah, I haven't rolled yet. I'm sorry, I was asking them.
Oh,
So that's...
yeah, correct.
Yeah, and I accidentally rolled, so I didn't know if you wanted me to keep that.
24 and 12 is fine. But yes, VD, are you casting a spell?
Yeah, I mean, listen, all she was told was that we're doing magic and this is a competition. She's going to point at Navali and cast command.
Okay, sure. What's the save?
What's the command?
I mean, Grovel is solid. How about that?
Sure.
It's what is the save?
Charisma.
Charisma.
Wisdom, sorry.
Oh, wisdom. And I have bless on.
That succeeds.
25 or 24.
You
23.
ignore this. You have to prove yourself that you're good at this game for Perm's sake. And roll athletics for her, too.
I forgot to roll my gust 1d4. Or is it 1d6 or 1d4?
1d4. And Perm and Navali, I will need yours as well.
Should we do the same thing? Acrobatics?
Perm will do athletics.
Okay, we got this, Perm.
Oh.
Fuck magic.
And D4. Both of you, because you're blessed.
My D4 is already in there.
Oh, perfect. So, Leo, you start controlling the ball, and you just see VD try to make Navali grovel, and her completely ignore this, and immediately scores multiple times upon you.
We can do it, because there's still round 2, right?
Yeah, it's still round 2. You still have to.
Okay.
You have to win twice in a row.
Oh god.
Damn, that was a nat 20 for Perm?
No.
She was an 8.
Perm rolled really low, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Round 2, acrobatics. Yay! A big 9.
Is there any spells you're casting?
Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
She gets to 24 too.
She added it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
BD will cast Bane.
Ooh.
On Navali again.
Both of you.
Plus 1d4. 17.
Perm fails, however, so we're just going to remove the D4 from her stuff to
Gotcha.
make it simple.
I guess I could probably cast another spell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will also cast command, but I'm going to do it at Leo. Grovel.
I'm assuming I'm not within 10 feet of you.
If you are, you're not considered an ally right now.
Okay. What is this? Wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom.
Leo doesn't have counterspell or anything. PD doesn't have counterspell, right? No.
Do not roll for this round.
I mean, we just can't win.
Also, I realized I did a. Oh no! Okay, never mind. I thought I was like, oh shit! I did a charisma save, not a wisdom save, but it was.
So as you get onto the ground, Leo, and VD preps a great spell to remove that bless, the ball just lands next to you. It's like, oh, I guess we lose. Apparently, with magic, this game is harder for some reason.
How does Perm look after the victory?
She basically went, okay, I'm told that he looked smug after he said, I don't know magic. I need to prove I can win without magic. And she looks exhilarated.
Leo stands up and says, tiebreaker?
Before Leo does that, Navali wants to pick up Perm as like a sort of congratulatory thing.
She seems shocked for a second and then just hugs you back.
Sure, tiebreaker. No magic or magic?
That's up to you.
Perm?
She is cracking her knuckles and not responding.
No magic. I am going to drop the bless spell.
It's no magic. The VD should probably drop Bane.
Yes.
Is Bladesong? Bladesong feels magical.
I would say
Supernatural
so.
abilities. Technically speaking, I would rule.
I mean,
Can a fighter action surge?
Oh.
That's fair, but I think because Leo would drop it because he has a sort of like mental connection that it's related to magic in a way.
As she sees people thinking about this, she clarifies, I'm okay with magic.
So you do want magic?
I don't see why not. We won last time.
Okay, fine. We're using magic.
All right, let's go. I guess. Oh, bless is only a minute, so I'll re-up it.
Sure.
Because Leo's feeling competitive, I'm simply asking the question like, is there any way to avoid grovel? Like,
I can't do another spell because I cast bless.
oh right, okay.
I mean, you could, but command is not concentration.
But
Your first round will be.
yes,
Yes.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, I will keep Bladesong up, and this time I will... Yeah, sure. Leo's gonna upcast Fly on both him and VD.
Hilarious. Advantage on athletics and acrobatics.
Yeah, he will, if for some reason he sees that VD, like that it makes her worse, then he'll not force her to do it.
Nope. Still gives advantage in both. Also, it seems like she enjoys flying.
All right, Perm.
Permelia takes a breath, smacks her hands together, and then her volleyball hand starts to glow brightly.
She casts Sacred Blade on her hands.
Can I smite the ball?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want to smite the ball.
We're just not gonna have a round two. We're gonna destroy the ball.
Navali, are you ready for this?
Yes.
No.
That one, that's hilarious.
At the 1d4. I don't know if smiting actually does anything.
I will state the reason that you are scored upon is you think real hard and you hit the ball with a divine smite, and the ball explodes.
No. Okay, maybe I don't do that. It's okay, it was just a level 2.
Do we have a ball to do round 2?
Immediately, one of the doors throws you another ball, as this is very entertaining.
Okay. Leo's going to serve, but he's still flying, and he's trying to fly. He's trying to have his range be, even if it's sort of like, I imagine there's a disadvantage to being far away, but he's trying to be far enough away to not be able to be commanded.
Command is
60 feet.
60 feet.
I mean, he can
yes.
fly. I mean, you tell
can,
me.
but the difficulty is, can you fly to do that and hit the ball?
Yeah, he would rather not get commanded, even if it's a little harder.
In that case, remove your advantage, but you are immune to command. VD is not.
Remove. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Sure, I'll command VD.
He'll command you back.
Okay.
You both
grovel.
just yell a word at each other? Is it
Grovel.
grovel?
Yes.
It is wisdom, right?
Yes, both of you roll wisdom saving throw.
Plus bless.
Oh.
Also, as a bonus action, Skirn, I request to use the jump ability that Navali has.
Add an additional d6 to your athletics.
Hell yeah. Or acrobatics.
Yes, acrobatics, sorry.
Okay.
There's no way for Leo to just like not serve and wait for V to recover.
No, you will have to serve.
And you said 1d6?
Yes.
Oh my god, I just can't win. With
21. 21 plus 3, so 24.
As VD lands and grovels,
Jesus.
you just watch Navali leap up, do a backflip to kick the ball to Perm, who spikes it directly next to her without any issues.
And it only costed me 4 spell slots.
Neither has won twice in a row. Continue.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's okay, I can't do,
Running out of spells on a volleyball game.
Yeah,
Oh
Leo's...
wait, I can't do upcast. I do command again at level 2.
I mean, okay. So Leo's still staying far away. So unfortunately, VD just has to take the brunt of this.
He'll also do a level 2 command.
Has Navali explained to Leo whether or not it's like, or Leo and both me, the player, don't know volleyball rules. Can you serve to yourself?
I don't believe you can.
No, you always have to serve to the other people. After the ball is in the air, you may hit it into the air again just for someone else to hit it, but you can only do that once. Volleyball rules! Yay!
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
So command on VD.
Leo will
15, 17.
That succeeds.
Leo. Oh, you succeeded. Okay.
And both of them managed to get out of the command.
Okay. Leo is going to sort of from midair, realizing that he needs to get close to get a strong enough attack. So he's floating far away to avoid the command. But then when he realizes that it's time to strike, he'll cast Thunderstep to get in range immediately and then spike the ball down.
I'll allow you to add additional 1d10 to this roll.
But not at advantage.
Not advantage, no.
Okay. No.
Okay. Plus 1d4.
Puma, I love the name changes.
You're having way
wait.
too much fun.
I'm going to action surge.
Okay.
27.
30.
Curious, yes. He did ask what would happen if he action searched.
Oh.
Also, Navali, you've gained some temporary HP.
Navali does the same thing she does again previously with Parm and picks her up and twirls her around after they win.
With the second game, you have definitely gotten a crowd, possibly because most people, when they hear about this game, aren't expecting people to fly, use explosions, and cast spells like Thunder Wave that create huge booms in the middle of a volleyball game.
So good, amazing. Once she has put Perm down, she's gonna look to Leo and Vidi and put her arm up in a good game sort of fashion.
Leo smiles, drifts back down, and will drop concentration when VD's close enough to go around as well, and sort of just go in for like a light high five with Navali.
Yeah, Navali will high five back.
That was they. Where did you learn how to play this game?
I saw it a few times amongst my my mother's friends.
It's a pretty popular we're bored and have nothing to do game in the military, actually.
Oh, that was an experience. Thank you. And of course, you did very well. I'm sorry that I talked shit a little bit.
It's a competitive game, Leo. It happens. Vidi, you did really good too. I apologize for all the command spells.
Oh, I don't apologize for mine. It was fun. Bravo. Roll wisdom saving throw.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, let's see if I do it. 2 + 12. Oh yeah, actually grovel.
Okay, need to make sure it's still working. She looks exhausted.
Leo will give VD a high five as well and just be like, next time. We'll get him next time.
So while the end of the world volleyball game is going on, 6, what are you doing?
1 is Willow here.
Yes.
Okay, first priority, see if Willow's doing okay. Second priority, hit on dwarves.
Okay, first priority, he is laying on a towel, asleep.
Oh, that's easy.
He seems peaceful. Second priority, describe what you're looking for.
Big muscles, red beard.
Let's summarize this with a simple persuasion check.
I'm gonna use my commanding presence with my final superiority die that I saved for this moment.
I'll allow it. You're being very commanding in your flirtations. Six. They recognize you. You've been in the Bearded Anvil several times, and every now and then you notice other workers. Does not understand you're flirting with him and just treats you like a coworker and friend.
She tried. Do they want to play volleyball?
I don't think anyone can compete with what we just saw.
No, it's not to compete. Besides, have you seen Permelia when she gets mad?
She used magic, right?
She nods.
Yeah, you know what? Let's start our own game that isn't going to be about destroying the beach.
No magic, no beach destruction.
Okay, some beach
A
destruction.
little bit of beach destruction. Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing when I said it.
And you managed to gather some dwarves to go play volleyball that is far less destructive. Will not run your game.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I didn't want to run it anyway.
Rev, what are you doing?
Honestly, probably finding a quiet corner. I mean, to watch the volleyball game, but probably from afar.
It's weird to say quiet corner. Thunder Wave was cast. Everyone could hear that.
You know, relatively speaking. Just kind of off and away.
Anything in particular you're doing in your quiet corner?
Yeah, I mean, being paranoid, kind of looking just to see if everyone who's here should be here, or that they're not being observed.
I shouldn't be here. You didn't even take that seriously, did you?
No.
No, everyone else seems to be people from the Bearded Anvil at the Tandem Imperium. You do roll perception. I assume you don't have detect magic, though.
No.
There isn't anything too strange going on. It's very clear that a few times you notice Rhea grab a dwarf and go to the cove for a moment, and then both of them come out with the dwarf looking considerably weaker. You mark that in your mind, but you also know it's part of the nature. You also do catch that Azel seems to be staring very intently on Navali and Primelia, but waiting patiently for them to be free. But nothing aggressive. No one seems to be worried or afraid or hurt. No one seems to be paranoid or actively watching. Even when you start watching people who might be quieter and don't, just in case they're like spying on you, you notice Crow is just reading her book and completely ignoring the world around her. And you notice Willow is just unconscious. It's kind of cute, honestly. He's just curled up on a towel, but nothing special.
But actually looks like everything's fine, and his paranoia is sated for the moment, then he'll take a cue from Willow's book and just kind of lean back, close his eyes, and maybe just sun for a little bit.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
You're serious?
I am.
Okay.
You fall asleep. Karuto,
Hello.
what are you doing while the volleyball game from hell is happening?
Watching in quiet awe mostly, like you magic users were crazy, but this is something else.
I imagine you have similar games in where you come from, but you know, their magic tricks are turning into foxes, not small explosions.
I mean, yeah, and sort of traditional games like tug of war and races and all that kind of stuff. Not effectively creating a sandstorm on a beach.
Tushiyuki hands you a nice thinly cut piece of tuna as he is also watching in awe. I can't believe the craziness that happens outside the veil.
He nods along and sort of thinks for a moment. Hold on, can you do this kind of thing?
I can create ice and manipulate it, and I know several spells that would benefit us in a utility and combat sense. I believe I just make the ball explode. Like she just did, points at Navali's Divine Smite.
Character very daintily brushes some sand off his piece of tuna. I was thinking, perhaps the caves around here and the sword we saw in the vision.
Interesting thoughts. Perhaps when things are quieter, I might explore here then.
He nods. My thoughts exactly.
Oh, also, excellent catch.
You flatter me. The trophy of the day absolutely goes to 6.
Please show my appreciation. It is very healthy, and to be quite honest, I haven't had a fish this delicious since we left the Vale. For the opportunity to showcase my abilities with a knife.
Character finally takes a bite of his tuna steak and has to take a moment to process just like the memories that come flooding back with it. And obviously, he's probably never tasted tuna, but eating raw fish prepared in such a way is definitely unique to their area. And he sighs in actual true relaxation, possibly for the first time in a very, very long time, considering he had spent years chasing after a known criminal.
Now, feeding you food.
How things change.
I'm going to go grill the bass that you caught now. When they're done, feel free to try that. I'm attempting to mix some salt to create something equivalent to soy, though it is difficult in this area.
If your skill at making soy is as good as your skill with a knife, then I feel we are in safe hands.
He bows his head. I appreciate the compliment, but I unfortunately know my limits.
Either way, I would be delighted to sample it.
And as he goes off to go grill, Slostra, are you still just laying in the sand, getting slightly buried by the sandstorms happening from the volleyball game?
She's definitely spectating furiously and trying to stay out of danger.
You get the feeling it's a good thing everyone that you invited to this party is technically speaking a capable adventurer. Because you could have seriously hurt someone just on the sidelines with that fight. But you didn't. They all know how to fight. Many of them know magic to defend themselves. And as the sun winds down a bit more, I will ask, is there anything else people would like to do during the beach party or conversations you would like to have?
Leo would sidle up next to Celestra at some point, probably after taking a break from following the game, and just say, "Hey, quick question.
What's up?
Do you ever work with glass, or is sort of your craft expertise strictly in metal?"
Hmm. I guess I'll ask Skern if that's a possibility, but I don't think so.
You've probably worked with it in very limited capacities, but it's kind of like buried down there and not something you remember as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say I'm vaguely familiar with it, but I wouldn't say that I know how to work with it. Why?
I just had an idea for something, but if it's I guess my question was, I know sometimes you can divinely create things, but it sounds like that might be out of the scope.
Hmm.
I don't want to
Well,
take up too much of your time actually with this sort of idea I have.
well, if you have the material, I do know a spell that I could reshape it with.
I mean, yes, I guess just let me tell you what I'm thinking, and you tell me if it's inconvenient or not possible. And the material components, he actually just points at the ground, at all the sand, and says, are right in front of us, actually. As I understand, uh, there's a type of mineral called or a material called a fulgurite, which is sort of when lightning hits the beach, it burns the sand into a sort of oddly shaped piece of glass. Whenever I've read about it, it is in sort of an odd shape, and I guess I was looking to have it more maybe turned into a wand of sorts. If I were to try to throw some lightning into the sand and see what comes of it.
I see. Question, Skern. I have the fabricate spell or creation spell, but it seems like both of those would potentially not really be a great fit for you.
I hmm, I have to think. The beach episode, I wasn't expecting to think. I will say, the fabricate spell maybe not, but the creation spell, with the material and combined, perhaps it actually does make sense that you could work this way. Yes.
Okay.
Creation only lasts for a short time, though, doesn't it?
Yes, fabricate is longer though. You'd have to use both of them essentially, and essentially use the creation for the blueprint and fabricate for the actual creation, which is weird when combined, but kind of how it would work.
Okay. I think I have an idea. We could give it a try. Have you made this material before?
No. It's something I've only kind of read about. I don't know what to expect from this. And so if it's sort of costly in any way, I wouldn't want to trouble you.
Not really. I mean, as long as we have some material to work with, we can give it a try.
All right. Leo just is looking on the ground, trying to assess where he could make a kind of like nearly point blank, but not burn himself, scorch with lightning in an effort to create one.
The beach explodes.
You have no issues in finding an area like that. Like, it's a big beach.
He looks at Celestra and says, should I tell people that there's a loud noise, or should I just let them enjoy it?
Celastra turns back towards the group and yells, "Loud noise!"
And then Leo will just lightning bolts the ground.
Everybody, you hear a loud cracking sound of lightning, and many people, instead of assuming that it's someone cast lightning bolt, look to the sky to see if a storm is coming, and then look confused at the clear day and sunny days. But a few people do notice, and as the sand melts and twists from the lightning's heat, some glass is left behind. Significant amount. Lightning bolt's a pretty wide area.
Yeah. Leo will sort of just like cast gust into it to sort of excavate it and then try to find a piece that he could break off that is sort of wand shaped in size.
Yeah, you have no issues in doing that.
Say, anything that you can do with this, I'd appreciate it.
I'll give it a shot and see what I come up with. Is there any particular design or attributes that you want to see?
I don't know, something that represents our team a bit.
All right. I'll do what I can. Do you want me to roll something, Skern, or?
I'm assuming you're not expected to do this immediately, but if you want to try and do it immediately, just smithing tools with wisdom.
See.
Now, mind you, you're technically using multiple spells for this and probably your divine feature as well. But the smithing tools with wisdom is essentially just to get the right design.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think there's really any reason that I can't do it right now, so I'll just do that.
Sure.
Hooray.
Leo, you watch Lostra immediately get to work, and through a mixture of divine works, the material you gave her, and sometimes just deciding, oh, this hammer's not good enough and creating a new one immediately, she carves a beautiful spell focus for you that you may describe at your own leisure. It can be whatever you'd like without any issues. And it is very well made. And know that it can definitely withstand any kind of force that you try to push upon it.
Very nice. I will come up with a description at some point later, but he'll just sort of like twirl it in his hands and say, wow. I mean, I don't know whether to thank the magic or if you're just a genius.
Well, you can thank me. It's okay.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You think that'll do the trick?
Yeah.
Excellent. What was it about this particular glass that you thought would be useful?
Leo pulls out his existing arcane focus, which is a glass like dip pen, and he sort of holds it up and says, "It's a symbolic thing more so. This is holding up the old pen. He says, This was my old life and my old career, and it was sort of given to me as a retirement gift on my way out, and I but I just wanted something that's a little bit more modern, a little bit more thoughtful about who I am today."
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm happy to have been a part of it. I hope you use it well.
I hope I don't need to use it too often, but I'm confident that with you and everybody else by my side, I will make the best use of it as I can.
Blaster smiles.
Leo will sort of offer final thanks, and then probably just go play music by a campfire, assuming that the sun is setting at sometime
It's
soon.
starting to set, and you have no issues in doing that. And the campfire was made, as partly it helps with grilling. So, we're going to end session very shortly, but there's going to be one more scene I would like to do, and just so everyone's aware, next session will still be beach episode.
Yeah,
There's
not
more things to
Yeah.
do.
Beach episode part 2.
But for the ending scene, Azel will kind of tap Navali on the shoulder. May I speak to you and your friend?
I'm assuming she's speaking about Perm.
Yes.
Sure.
She leads you to the wagon that you brought, and Mira just kind of gives a and stomps a little bit, but moves out of the way.
It's all right, Mira.
This weapon, she points towards Angel's Bane. Where did you get it?
Out of character. If I remember correctly, we received it from... Oh my gosh, what was her name? Zura?
No.
No.
It was given to you by Butcher.
Oh! A friend of our guild gave it to us.
The blade made from a host of 50 angels melted down to create a divine edge that could fight against any creature. Gifted to the Fiend Lords General. Your friend is interesting.
I'm sorry, did you say the melted body of 50 angels?
I did.
Navali looks at Perm.
She looks a little bit pale, as she's been using that weapon for a while.
Is this blade some... I can't imagine it's very common.
As far as I know, it is one of a kind. I would like to discuss this further in the future.
Yes, but also perhaps... I will also need to speak to the guild leader about this. We had no idea.
I see that, and that does bring comfort. Anyway, I wanted to end there so you're not wondering why they were constantly looking at your wagon.
I like to imagine after that conversation, Navali's like, "Hey, Rev!"
Don't worry, Rev, how are you feeling?
I don't know, conflicted. It was a fine nap, I guess.
We'll handle the aftermath and some more beach party next week. I assume we're all good for next week.
Yes.
Yeah.